there. Okay, so if you're new here, my name is Alexis, or Crafting Lex, you can call me Lex. And I thought today we could do like a small tour of kind of like my crafting room, but it's also my office because I work from home. So I won't really be showing any of my working setup or anything, but I will kind of do a quick little overview of what my office looks like. And then we're gonna go through all of my yarn. This is not everything, unfortunately. I also have a little stack of bends over here by my desk. I have a little yarn hammock, and then I also have a closet here that has some yarn in it. So that's what we're gonna go through today and kind of talk about some of the yarns that I've been really enjoying and projects that are upcoming and like what I'm using these yarns for. But also I just love watching people go through their yarn to see what like everyone has. It's very interesting to me. So that is what we're gonna do today. Please feel free at any point in this video to like or subscribe. But yeah, let's get started. It's a little overview of my office. I just have like my bookshelf and stuff like that. I have all of my workstation here, and then I have yarn in these little buckets. I have a little yarn hammock up here, and then this is the main display for all of my yarn. And then I have like some of my bags, and in the closet, which I'm not going to open right now, but I'll bring the yarn out, has some yarn in it that I don't really use all the time or don't want displayed. I want to go through kind of the yarn that I don't use as much anymore. So this is going to be stuff that is typically in my yarn hammock or in my 3 sets of drawers or in my closet. I have a whole bunch on the floor here. So first things first, my mother wants me to make a crochet Christmas blanket. And so she bought a whole bunch of the I Love This yarn from Hobby Lobby in white and green, because that's what the blanket is for. So I have these stowed away. You will see that I have a lot of Hobby Lobby yarn. I don't enjoy supporting Hobby Lobby. When I first started into crochet about, I guess almost like 2-ish years ago now, it was cheap and easy and affordable. And so that's kind of what I built a lot of my stash on. So you'll see a lot at the beginning of Hobby Lobby yarn, and I'm not like knocking that. Like, you don't need like expensive yarns or natural fibers or anything like that, but I just personally don't enjoy supporting Hobby Lobby. So you will see that I have a lot of that, but a lot of this is just stuff that I had accumulated when I first started crocheting. And now that I'm also into knitting, I try to do more natural fibers, but I still want to use what I have. So you'll see a lot of that in here. So that's the first hub that I just kind of keep in the closet for now because I haven't started that project. Keeping on the same theme, I have a whole bunch of the I Love This yarn from Hobby Lobby. Let's see if I can bring you in closer here. So this is in the shade or color linen. I have linen. I have, what color is this? Spa, which is like a light blue. I have this shade, which I don't have the color anymore, but it's kind of like a speckled color. And this green. And this like deep blue. I have not kept a lot of this very organized, which is why I also hide it. But I did make a crocheted granny square blanket. If I have a picture, I'll like attach it here. That was like my first big crochet project. So I have quite a bit of that yarn left over. Don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but that's kind of that. And then I also have the black of the I Love This yarn. I have this deep brown color of it as well. Now, if you're like in a pinch and want to buy this yarn, it is good quality yarn. It's soft, it's easy to work with. Again, it's just like a personal reason, you know, personal reasons. I don't enjoy supporting the company anymore, so it's teach their own. But that's why I have like a lot of it, but it is good acrylic yarn, and it's nice and soft in my opinion. So I also have like this thick blue that is from the same line. Here's more of the green. And then I have two like different colors. This one's kind of like a variegated yarn yarn that has a whole bunch of different colors. This I made a scarf for my sister-in-law out of. I crocheted a scarf the first year I was crocheting for Christmas. And then this one, which is kind of like pink and yellow and blue, I made a scarf and a headband crochet for my niece. So that's what those were for. Also, when I first started crocheting, I got these off of Amazon. This is the Yarn Art Jeans yarn. It's 45% acrylic and 55% cotton in this kind of like light green color. The the phone is kind of like making it look a little bit brighter green. It's kind of like slightly more muted and like a more sagey color. I have a project actually that was like for real one of my first crochet projects, and I never finished it. It's a top. I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but I do have some extra balls of this yarn that I have not used. Okay, and then another, I will admit, if you're looking for, again, if you do support the company or anything like that, a great cotton yarn is the I Love This Cotton. I made dish towels, and also for my friend's wedding, I had some of this already and made keychains out of this cotton, and it's such a good soft cotton. So I have a couple colors here. Let's see. So I have this kind of like orangey color. I was gonna see if I had any more of it. Oh, I do, it's literally right here in my hand. So this is in the color bruschetta. And then I have the color Serene Spa and the color Forest. And then I also have the Baby Bee brand. I had these, and I made a baby blanket for one of my friends. So this is the Baby Bee Sweet Delight in Green Light. And I just have a lot left over. I also have this that I wanted to try out. It is the Yarn Bee Fundamental Cotton in the shade Peacock. It's like a really pretty blue. I don't like this cotton as much. It's a little bit more rough than the I Love This Cotton. You can kind of even see the texture difference there. So I don't know if I'd recommend it, but it is nice and stiff. So if you are doing some crochet projects, like it is nice to have that like stiffer feeling, especially like I use this for the keychains. And so I feel like it holds up probably better. And then I have two more yarn bees I made when I first started my first year. I made some pot holders for my family members out of this yarn. So this is the Pearl Spun Low Pill Fiber. I have the shade Rust and Pale Taupe. I have kind of like a theme of colors that I normally stick with. And then I have this little basket that my mom actually gave me for Christmas last year. So this was also gifted yarn. I have another one of the I Love This Yarn in ivory. So I'll probably just throw that in with the stuff that my mom got me to make that blanket. And then she just got me these huge skeins of the Crafter's Secret Big Idea. So she got me like a sage green, a dark green, a kind of like oatmeal-y color maybe, and then like a cream. And then she also got me the little pocketbook of crochet. So I have that I kind of keep in the closet. I don't really use this yarn very much. And then when I first started knitting, this was my first ever like nicer yarn haul, I guess. And I made a sweater. I knit my very first sweater. It was the Step by Step sweater by Florence. I'm sure everybody's heard of that by now. And I still wanted to try acrylic yarn first to see, like, you know, get the hang of knitting. I didn't want to like really invest in super high quality materials for something that I was just trying out. But this is the Amigo Chunky in the shade 20. I don't know, they don't have a color on here. But it's just like a deep blue and it's a nice chunky yarn. I found that this yarn split pretty easily. And so I didn't really love working with it, especially as a beginner knitter. I just found that it was a little harder for me trying to get the needles to work in this yarn, but it turned out great. I'm so glad that that was like my first project. It was really fun. So now we are at the yarn that I displayed. This is just like an IKEA like 9 cube or whatever. So first and foremost in here I have, and I film on my phone because I can't really afford a camera right now, so bear with me. Everything, all the words will be backwards if you can't tell, just because I need to see myself. I can't do it without seeing myself. So yeah, just bear with me, I'm sorry. But here, stored in this cubby, I have some vinyls here. So me and my husband just got a record player, which is up here. I also have my Citizen As You Please record displayed up there. But we went and bought 4 vinyls to start off our collection. So I keep that here since I have the vinyl or the record player up here, but we will probably move that downstairs. So here I keep a couple of things. I have the Sock Project by Summer Lee, and then I went to a like yarn festival, a fiber festival, and got some patterns. So I have those up here. And then to make this cowl pattern, I bought some yarn, so I left it up here. So that's what that is. Back here, I keep all of my needles and my needle sets. So I have them just organized by the smallest needles to the largest. So I have some of these circular needles, which actually broke, so I need to probably throw these away. I have some Chiagus. These are just like set cables, like these aren't interchangeable. And then I have some Likey and more Chiagu. And then I have my 2 Knit Picks interchangeable sets. So these are both in the obsidian shade, I guess. And this is my long needle set. I'll show you here. So they're like a really pretty gray and black set of wood needles. And then down here I have all of the cables that came with those. And I did a bundle, so I also got the short needle set. So as you can see, I'm using some of them right now. And then I have all of the stuff down here for that as well. I do find myself using shorter needles more than I do the long ones. I feel like I probably could have just invested in the short set over the long set, but it's nice to have both, you know. But I keep those back here. And then right here up front, I keep my yarn bowl that I use occasionally. I got this also at the Fiber Festival. This is made by, I can't read it, I'm so sorry. But this is the yarn bowl. It's just like a ceramic yarn bowl, super beautiful. Then I have just a ball of some leftover yarn that I was using for a project. Okay, so moving over here now. I still have, again, I did invest in quite a bit of the Hobby Lobby yarn when I first started. So there are some yarns that I don't mind having out here, but I do have 3 balls of this. I love this cotton in the shade Pewter. So just like a really nice dark gray. So I keep that here. And then behind it, I have more of that baby blanket yarn that I used for my friend's baby blanket. So I keep that back there. And then this is kind of more of, I would say, my fancier yarns. These are actually ones that I got at McKinney Knittery, which is my pretty local yarn store. It's still a drive, but it is what it is. So this one right here, oh, actually, no, this one I got in New Orleans. So I bought 2 balls of yarn in New Orleans. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. I'm thinking about maybe making the Sophie hood. I think I have enough. So I did wind them myself, but you can kind of see the colors. So I will have to be kind of intentional with how I make the shawl, because like this one has more purple in it, this has more blue, but me and my husband picked out colors that reminded us of New Orleans, and their yarns were there, and the people there were so nice. I believe that the name of the shop is called the Quarterly Knit or the Knit Quarter. I can't quite remember, but really, really nice people there. And this yarn is the, I think this is the Malabrigo Rios yarn. So this is a worsted weight yarn, 100 grams per skein. It's a 100% superwash merino wool. So that's what these are. And they're so, so soft. I've never tried Malabrigo yarns before, but I've heard a lot of really good things about them. So that's why when these kind of caught my eye, I thought about doing that. I didn't see a lot of like specialized hand-dyed yarn in their shop. Otherwise, I probably would have invested in something more specific to that. But I thought that these colors really kind of spoke Mardi Gras, New Orleans. So it's going to be like a great memory yarn. And then right next to it, I actually used this yarn as well when I was making that crochet blanket as one of my things. I invested in like one super nice yarn for that blanket. And this is the Barocco Vintage in the shade 51195, which I don't know if it actually has like a shade on here. No, it doesn't. But it's in like a really pretty green. It's kind of like marbled. It has like a marbly effect to it. And I do have a whole like skein of this. So I also don't know what I'm going to make with this. I don't think I would quite have enough for a Sophie hood, because I also thought about maybe making it out of this yarn. But I am looking for projects where I can use this, because I probably have about maybe like 1.5, like this may be maybe like 1 3/4, I don't know, of a ball of yarn or of a skein of yarn of this, and it's 100 grams as well. So I don't quite know what I'm gonna make. If you have any ideas, let me know. And then right next to it, I wanted to knit my husband some socks. So we went to my local yarn store and I had him pick out what socks or like the color he'd like. So he picked this super pretty yarn here. And this is the Swanky sock yarn from Magpie Fibers. And this is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. This is in the shade Wood Smoke, which I honestly feel like describes it pretty well, to be honest. Like it has grays and blacks and browns, and this is the one he wanted. So as soon as I can get around to knitting him some socks, that's what this is going to be. Okay, moving over here, I'm gonna back up a little bit. Okay, so moving over here, I have some of my favorite yarns over here. So I have the Cascade Yarns 220 Superwash Merino in a couple shades. So I have this kind of brown or black shade. It's like a deep black gray. And I use this to make my father a beanie. This is in the shade 82 in Jet. And then I also have this green, which I am using to make my father-in-law a beanie. And this is in the shade Chive 59. Then I have another one. And this is in the shade Ocean Heather in 80. It's a really pretty blue that has like some purples throughout it. I also have this light gray, which I haven't really made anything with yet. This is in the shade December Sky 66. It's just like a really pretty light gray. I may make a beanie out of it. I don't know. I really like this for beanies. I also have a light yellow that I made. I used it in my previous video when I made the woolly hood in a really pretty like, you know, baby yellow. So I used that all up. And then over here, I did buy, let's see, 8 skeins of this Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in the shade Opal Heather. And it just has like, it's like blue and orange and pink and red. Like, it's so, so pretty. I don't know what I'm gonna make with this yet, which you'll find is kind of like the theme with a lot of this. I do think that now, the more that I like become online with my crafting, I do kind of just buy yarn. I really need to stop, but this is what I have. So I have 8 skeins of that kind of here and ready to go. Here to right underneath that, I have, good Lord, quite a bit going on. So first things first, I just invested in, let's see, I think I have 10 skeins. I had a sale. Ooh, let me get comfortable. There was a sale for Knit Picks, and then also I am a Knit Picks ambassador, and so I have like a code to get 15% off, so I'll put that down in the description. I don't benefit with the exception of just money off any like orders for the next month, so I'm not profiting, like I don't get paid to talk about them, or no one gets paid to use my code, FYI. So I bought 10 skeins of this is the Oceana worsted weight yarn by Knit Picks, and this is in the shade Lanternfish, and it's like this neon green core with black fluff, and it literally looks like it's, I don't even know, like it's literally lit from within. It's so pretty. So I bought 10 skeins of it. Don't know what I'm gonna make. I may make a sweater with this, just because I think this would be so freaking cool and pretty for a sweater. So I have 10 skeins of that. And then for my current project, I bought way too much of this yarn, I guess, because I finished my sweater, but I am working on the stars of it. So I have been working on a sweater, which you can check out if you like short form content. I post more about it on my TikTok. I do updates and Whip Wednesdays. But I was making a Citizen album, which I'll show up at the top again, As You Please album inspired sweater. So I was using the Drops Air in the shade 44, which I think is called, it's called maybe Scarlet something, I'm not quite sure. But it has almost kind of like a black center to it, and then like red around, and so it's really dimensional and so pretty. And I think I used maybe 6 skeins of it for my actual sweater, but I'm done with that, and I have 5 skeins of it left over. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I may actually make maybe a Sophie shawl out of this, because I really, really love this red, or maybe a vest or something like that. I'm not quite sure. And then also here next to it, for the white stars on that same project, I'm using the Drops Air in the shade 01, which I think is literally just like white. So I got 2 balls of this, and I'm like 3/4 of the way through the first one while I'm doing the stars, so I think 2 will be plenty. Okay, and then moving over to this next section here, this is pretty much like my leftover yarn bin here. So I have a couple leftover colors of the Drops Kid Silk. This first one, and then I'll talk about this at the same time. So this is in the shade 05. It's a purple color. I use this for my cardigan number 9, I believe is what it's called. And I used that, I held that together with Drops Lima or Lima in the shade 4088, which this color of Drops Lima was discontinued while I was using my sweater, so I had to purchase this for a little bit more money from somebody. But now I have an extra skein of it and then like a partial skein of it. And I have 2 leftover balls of the Kid Silk as well. And then I did oh my god, I can't remember what the pattern was. Oh, the Summer Lotus blouse. It's a free pattern you can find it on Ravelry, but I can't remember who it's by. I don't know, it's a free pattern that you can find. But I did mine, I held 1 strand of each of these shades together, and it's turned out so pretty and so fluffy and so soft. So I want to say that this darker color is in the shade pink, if I'm not mistaken, and this light pink is in the shade Strawberry Ice Cream, and it's so pretty. So I have 2 balls of each one. Again, no clue what I'm gonna do with these. I have no idea, but I love having them displayed here because they're just also pretty. And then in the back here, I have 3 balls of the Knit Picks Samia fingering weight yarn in the shade Abalone Shell, which is a really pretty, like, cool blue. It's like a gray blue. And I made I don't remember what I made with this. I'll put it on the screen. But I made a top out of this, and I just have some left over. It's so pretty and like shiny and gorgeous, and I definitely will make something else out of this. It's just like it catches the light in such a really pretty way, and this like icy blue is just so enticing to me. And then last for this, I have 2 skeins of the Drops Belle in the shade 22, which is kind of like a creamy color. I was originally going to make, is it the Bay top, I believe, in this? I was originally going to make that in this yarn, and I just couldn't figure out the Sabai top. I have no clue why. I was just really having trouble. I think I restarted it a couple times and just ended up giving up. I'm pretty sure I documented all of that over on TikTok if you'd like to see my failure. So I ended up giving up on that, and then I made whatever top is similar to that in this, so I have that. But for this, I actually have a project that I thought I was going to finish during the summer, and I just had to decide. It's a crocheted poncho, and I just decided to repurpose this. So I had like 10 of these of the Drops Belle, which I think is only 50 grams a piece. Yeah, this is 50 grams a piece, so I had like 10 of them to make that top originally, but I repurposed them, and I still have not finished that poncho. I was gonna use it as like a bathing suit cover up, and I put in like work for like 2 days before I knew I was going to the pool to like, we were going to hang out with people, and the day came and I just didn't finish it in time. It was just taking a lot longer than I thought, and I gave up on it. So I still have it and I need to finish it, but I'll probably use up these 2 balls like finishing that project. Oh, okay. I need a swig break. I don't know if you can tell where I'm from, but we got Swig close to us, and I need to know, what are y'all's Swig orders? I'm really curious. I know people like take them very seriously. Mine is pretty simple. I do a Dr. Pepper Zero with vanilla cream, and the aftertaste is like a marshmallow. So good. Okay, so for this last box here, I have, let's see, more of the Wool of the Andes yarns. So this orangey color, which I think is called Solar Flare, if I'm not mistaken, Solar Flare Heather. I made a beanie for my brother-in-law as a Christmas gift. As you can see, everybody's getting beanies this year. And so I didn't know how much I would need, and I bought 5 skeins of it, and I used 1.5 for it because the beanie pattern that I use, which is the My Baker's hat, uses like 60 to 70 grams of yarn. So I had plenty left over. So now I have like 3.5 skeins left that I don't know what to do with. And then they were having a sale for the Knit Picks thing, which I also got that lanternfish yarn from. They were doing like a $2, $4, $6 sale on a lot of their yarns. And so I bought this while I was at it. This is the Wool of the Andes Superwash version, and this is the shade Nightshade Heather. And it's just such a pretty, like, deep purpley red. Like, look how gorgeous that is. I can't get over it. Each of these skeins, again, is 50 grams. Yeah. And this is just 100% superwash wool. It's, it is what it is. So I have 4 skeins of that, which I think my husband may want a beanie. I'm gonna make him a beanie out of that. So I'll probably have like a couple left over, like maybe 2.5-ish. So I'll still have something to do with that. I don't know. And then last but not least for the yarn train here, I have a sweater's quantity of these 2 yarns. So I have the Drops Kid Silk in just a black shade. And then this is the Meal and Wheat Lana Grossa Meal and Wheat 50. It's again just a black yarn, but this is, let's see, 50 grams. It's 80% wool and 20% polymine. And I'm making my mother the No Frills sweater by Petite Knit. I have it in one of those project bags over there. She didn't have like a time frame on it, and I have been working on some other projects. I did start it, and I'm at the increases. Like I did all the German short rows for the neckline. I have the collar all done. So I'm just working on like the shoulder increases. I just need to pick that project back up. But all of this here is that. And you can see it's kind of messy in here because my cats like to jump specifically in this box. Even though, as you can see, I have a little cat thing for them. I love that IKEA does this. I think it's so freaking cute. And sometimes they sit in here, but I need to get like a little pad or like a little pillow. But sometimes when my cat wants to play or something, like I have a little string toy for her, and she'll jump in here and then like hunt the toy out of it. That is everything. That is all of my yarn. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I think I'm definitely reaching an overconsumption level, but it is something that like, it is a hobby that I spend pretty much almost all of my free time doing now, knitting. And so I do have plans for some of this yarn. I don't have plans for others, but it is kind of like now it's like a collecting thing. Like for example, when we went to New Orleans, I got yarn, and, making things for other people. Like, I don't know. It's kind of just like a thing now. But I definitely need to put myself on a buying ban. We do not need to buy any more yarn until I finish some stuff. So anyways, once again, please feel free to like and subscribe. Again, comment down your favorite Swig drink. Comment down below your favorite Swig drink. I am interested in knowing, now that we have a Swig. I'm not a huge sparkling water fan personally. I don't like the bubbles. But I do, and I normally try to stick to like more 0-calorie drinks. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm always down to try anything. Also, if you like more short form content, I will leave my TikTok link down below. Please feel free to follow me on there. I post more regular updates and also just like, you know, throughout the projects that I'm working on and funny videos. But I know sometimes people don't want to like sit down and watch a 45-minute video, even though I enjoy doing that like in the background while I knit or craft. It's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. I don't know, but if it's yours, check that out. But that's everything. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.